Hello and good afternoon once again. I'm Mohana for BBTV and you are still with us right here at Four Seasons Kuala Lumpur, and we are with the chairperson of the event, Asian World Centre's Board Transformational and Future Governance 2021. It's themed Igniting Intelligence and Smart Governance. So earlier this morning, the chairperson introducing Mr. Firdaus.
Hi.
Firdaus had a lengthy speech and an opening remark that he delivered to the delegates, to the attendees here at Four Seasons Kuala Lumpur. So now we're going to ask Firdaus the objective of this roundtable. Firdaus, first of all, welcome to our segment. Thank you for joining us. Could you please tell us about the first ever, from what I understand from your speech, this is the first ever Board Transformational and Future Governance Roundtable, right?
Yes.
So could you please tell us where do you see AWC moving forward with the result after today and tomorrow, and what are the plans for AWC moving forward?
Okay, so basically AWC, I would consider ourselves as a startup. So the company was established last year. It's called Asian World Centre. So with one of the main objective of us organizing corporate events and then focusing on the forte of corporate governance and board directors related issues. Okay, so basically this is our first annual Board Transformation and Future Governance program. So we have, this is an on-site physical event with, I would say, around 19 to 20 panelists and speakers. So talking about the objective or the purpose of this event, I would say is, for the last couple of years, Malaysia has been struck with COVID-19 pandemic outbreak. So basically one of the reason or one of the objective or main focus of why we are organizing this event is to educate, learn and get these board directors and C-level executive management personnel to be exposed on the new ways, the new norms, and then the new strategies of them as a board directors or even as the decision makers of an organizations. Yeah.
Okay, so let's now talking about pandemic, right? This is the first physical event organized by AWC?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so how many do you have had planned? I'm sure you did not plan this last week or the week before or the month before. I'm sure these were in the pipeline for a long time already.
Yeah.
So from your experience as summit organizer, roundtable conference organizers and all that, how many of those events or summits of yours that you had planned were disrupted, and how many did you have to migrate from making it a physical to an online? What were the challenges like?
Okay, so I would say, so to be honest, this event actually was produced during the first quarter of this year, 2021.
Okay.
So our first date, it was supposed to be in March, but it was pushed up to July. But since unfortunately we were under MCO or lockdown, where seminar and physical event or even social activities are not allowed at the moment, and then we push it finally to a final date of today, 29th and 30th of November. So talking about the challenges as an event organizers, especially when talking about like organizing physical events, I would say for the past couple of years it has been a tremendous challenge for us. So that's why one of the main strategy that we are doing from Asian World Centre is to have this event as a hybrid event. So talking about hybrid event, I would say, if you're seeing the presentations, we have a few types of presentations. So we have solo presentations whereby we are inviting like an on-site speakers doing an on-site presentations. We have panel discussion whereby we are grouping a panelist talking about any specific issues, or we even have a video presentations as well. And on top of the video presentation, there's going to be like I would say an international case studies. So besides us focusing on how we to improve our domestic issues, we are bringing this case study from out of Malaysia, out of the nation, such as like in United States, we have case studies from European, which we will be sharing with the delegates and the participating audience later on, so that they would have this kind of like awareness, and they would have this kind of like exposure on what's going on out of the country, what other people are doing that we are not doing, what other people are doing good that we should be taking that as an example, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, Firdaus, now in terms of organizing events in the new normal, how are the SOPs? Because I realize this is my first physical event that I'm attending also after the pandemic reopening of borders and whatnot. So usually there used to be back in the days when things were normal, one table, 10 delegates.
That's right.
Now I realized one table there was not even 10. The chairs were only about five chairs only, right? So this is how it's going to be moving forward. And in terms of cost-wise, does it give you an extra burden, or it's still the same like before?
Okay, talking about the event execution during this pandemic outbreak, I would say. So I'm not saying that we are in the endemic phase at the moment. Okay, so at the moment, while talking about the cost, talking about the SOP of how we are executing physical events, I would say it's pretty simple, not that complicated. I would say it's just a matter of us rearranging everything back. So for example, if let's say previous years back, when we were organizing on-site events, we used to have like this specific ballroom. It could fit up to 500 people, like 3-4 years ago. Okay, but now, in order for us to adhere and comply with the SOP in place, we are only allocating. We are only limiting around, like, I would say 70 delegates.
From 500 to just 70.
Yeah, to just 70. So as you mentioned just now, one round table that could fit 10 people, maybe 12 people. We are just fitting like maximum to be around 5 delegates, because we are adhering with social distance, and then that's why during the session itself, as part of the SOP, as part of the standard operating procedures for physical event, we keep reiterating, we keep mentioning about the things that the delegates need to adhere, like wearing masks, and then keep their social distance, and then no direct contact, etc., etc.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for your time with us, Firdaus. We'll try to catch you again since we are only on day one. So as the events progress, as the conversations progress, as we move on to more interesting segments of the day and the evening, we'll get Firdaus on the camera again, hopefully if he's free, to discuss more on the happenings. Firdaus,
sure.
Once again, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just want to say thank you so much for BBTV for being one of our official broadcasting partner. And I want to thank Yang Berbahagia Datuk Syamsul Baharin, the Group CEO of Big Blue Berhad, for gracing the event as well as part of the panelists. Thank you so much, and hopefully we'll have our path cross again in the future.
Yes, definitely. Hello and good afternoon. I'm Mohana for BBTV, and today we are bringing you a special segment from the Four Seasons Hotels right outside our studio, right next to our studio actually, and we are bringing you a program organized, a roundtable organized by Asian World Center, and it's called Board Transformational and Future Governance 2021. Theme is Igniting Intelligence and Smart Governance. Well, we've had this program running from morning, and we have one of the panelists over here that I have together with me, and she is the CEO. She's a Chief Executive Officer for University Malaya Specialist Center. Please welcome together with me Mrs. Nur Zaitun Sanusi. Welcome to our segment here on BBTV. So, Madam Nur Zaitun, should I call you Nur Zaitun? Zaitun?
Yeah. Zaitun should be okay.
Zaitun is fine? Okay. So, could you please tell us about your involvement here at AWC at this round table here today? And you had 2 sessions earlier this morning, right? One was with you were a panelist, and then you had a presentation. Yeah. So, could you please tell our audience what was your involvement in this event today?
Okay. Okay. Thank you for the session. Okay, I started the morning session with the roundtable discussion with the other one panel under the title of Board Governance, of which we spoke about the governance of the board pre and post-COVID actually, because as you know that COVID has changed and has changed the business and the way how we react to the business in order to determine the way forward for the organization. So this morning, together with the CEO of Big Blue.
Yes, that's right, Big Blue.
Big Blue. So we spoke about the financial storm and how to navigate the business, the post-crisis strategy. So we spoke about the post-crisis strategy in the financial storm, and the importance of the board to have the knowledge of basic information of financial. As I shared early this morning, that it is important to have the finance background because board are responsible for the integrity of financial statements, the merger of acquisition. Board also responsible for the strategic decision, financial planning. Therefore, it is highly crucial to have someone with the financial knowledge, because most of the decision will involve finance. Okay, on the second part, I spoke about the creating achievement culture, post-crisis strategy, because representing a hospital, a healthcare, I believe that common understanding on the ground that a hospital would be survived during the pandemic, but it is not the case, because pandemic COVID-19 is very unprecedented and unpredictable by not only Malaysia but also affecting the world. So the sharing session just now, I spoke about the challenge that we face from hospital view. So we are also the same like the other industry. It was totally shaking in terms of our operation. Overall, we also cut by half because we have to prioritize COVID patients. So I shared on how we gone through the journey after 2 years, and I would say that in terms of the fuel for the reset, which I categorized into 3, the respond, the recover, and the renew, we have embedded all the strategies in our business plan and our way forward for the company.
Okay, ma'am, just want to understand a bit more further. Since you are the CEO for your Unistim Malaya Specialist Center, do you also oversee the operations that go day-to-day operations on the non-specialist center part of Unistim Malaya medical healthcare as well? Do you also oversee that, or only the specialist center?
The portfolios for Specialist Center is on the private and on the specialist.
Okay.
Because as I shared that the idea of UMSC is to retain the doctors, not to move from public to private sector. So because the doctors also, they serve faculty as a lecturer. They also serve a public hospital as a doctor, and on the specialist they'll come to us.
I see. Okay, so during the pandemic, hospitals entirely became a war room on its own. Every hospital in every part of the country, especially Malaysia, where private hospitals were also roped into during the 11th hour to assist in terms of usage of beds and all that. So how quickly has University Malaya recovered in terms of COVID patients and non-COVID patients, and other surgeries and other medical health-related issues, surgical-related issues? Is it already operating as per usual, or are we still focused on COVID patients first, everybody else next, unless emergency?
Okay. To bring you the understanding of how we operate, UMSC is a university hospital.
Yes.
Our priority is more on the university. That's why in terms of our mission is on research, care and education. However, during the pandemic, the government hospital, they cannot cater for COVID patients. That's why we have to take up the COVID patient, and as a private wing, we have to take up the non-COVID patient. So I would say the first 3 months it was very unstructured, but then over time we have quickly work along and find ways on how to improve things. 2020, I would say towards the end, we are about to stabilize, but the case spike. If you see, enter into 2021, we went into lockdown.
Yes.
But in terms of our operation, we have managed and we're able to anticipate what's coming. And in fact, right now also we can see the case seems to rise again, but we know what to expect. I would say that about 6 months time, in terms of our operation, we are stabilized, but we do prepare for any unpredictable situation down the road.
Okay, so final question to you. Hospital operations are back to normal prior to COVID, or are we still recovering?
I believe the same like other business, life will never be the same again.
Okay.
So we have to accommodate with the SOP, the adherence set by the government, but at the same time we try to manage, and whatever planning we try to put in our business so that we can plan ahead on the way forward.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your time right here at Four Seasons Hotel with us during the roundtable today. Thank you very much for your time, and we hope to meet you again and speak with you on various issues at other venues and at other events and roundtable summits. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Tito.